Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Hello, everybody.
We have a special guest. Not going to bury the lead here. Everyone knows we were huge fans of FBoy Island. Check our interview we had with Kylan last week. But we have our second member of the cast here of season 2. If you watched our reviews, you know we were huge fans of him. We knew Brian's wife was a big fan of him. Everyone was a big fan. We're talking about Niko. Nice guy, Niko. How are you, brother?
Hey, I am good, guys. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Obviously, we were excited when we saw that you kind of had like reacted to some of the videos of things. And Brian, who runs our Instagram here, he obviously reached out, and we were glad that you were open to talk. Just right off the bat, man, I just want to kind of get your whole. We're past the finale now. Everything's out in the open. Everyone knows the full story. So, how was your experience watching the show? And kind of since it finishing, like for yourself and kind of the reaction and your friends and family, like just kind of give us the vibe of what things have been like for you.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I'm sure, as you guys can imagine, probably a roller coaster more than anything else. It's been everything far and few between. Obviously, watching yourself on TV can be cringe at moments. You're like, why did I say that? Or you're watching yourself kiss, and you're like, I have zero game. So like there's things like that. And then obviously, like my mom is a huge sweetheart. So she's just like, that pink hair girl is so mean. And I'm like, okay,
Oh no.
she's all right. And then my dad's like pretty blue collar, and he's like, I told him I was first doing the show. He's like, why can't you just go talk to girls in person? I'm like, dude, it's not like that. And so it's everything far and few between. I got my friends razzing me about certain things. And then there's been a crazy influx of just people like from DMs that don't know me at all that have just been incredibly kind. And so, yeah, it's been a little bit of everything.
I mean, it's cool. It's a very interesting show. I mean, just even the name of it, FBoy Island, it gives that for people who are haters of reality TV, they could just hear the title and be, are you kidding me? Are they serious? And if they're looking for something to hate, you watch 3 minutes into the episode and you guys have guys crawling through the sand or blowing conch horns or having mock trials in the beach.
Yes.
I can understand it, but I love the part about this show is just there was a lot of lying, but there's also a lot of honesty involved in it. There's a lot of guys just being their authentic selves, and you guys getting to interact with each other so much, I think was an awesome dynamic. So I've seen on Instagram a little bit you guys hanging out, but like, what has kind of that been kind of that bond that's grown amongst the cast members post the show?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite question. So it's crazy. So when I first walked into the house, I mean, again, I'm obviously was a nice guy. So you see some of these guys and it's just male toxic masculinity. And like, I was like, I hate half these dudes. Like you guys are just trying to act cool. But like after the first 2 weeks, like you got to remember there's no phones, there's no TVs. So, when you kind of get past like the like initial combos of, hey, what do you do, man? Where you from? Which sports did you play in high school? There's not much left to talk about but intimate stuff. So yeah, man, you learn really quick and really fast that like these are going to be your brothers for life. It's almost like a little fraternity. And then like you'll sit there and you're off camera and you take a step back and you're like, dude, look what we're doing. This is crazy. Like this selected crew. And so it brings you together. And so while, initially I was like, no way. I'm not talking to that guy or doing whatever. Some of the guys that I hated the most have become some of my best friends.
Care to share who?
So 2 guys for sure that I was just like, no way. Mikey D for sure.
Mikey.
Yeah.
That's probably just chalking it up to just like the abrasive, hot, jazzy accent.
Yep.
I mean, I couldn't be.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, I had a little like baby beef with Jabrin in the house, and like I was with him this weekend, and we're sitting just laughing, like, dude, what was that? What were we even mad about? And it's only brought us all extremely close.
We're big Jay Breen fans because of his falling out of his chair during the Mansplain.
That was literally in my opinion the funniest thing. Like the noise he makes is like, oh, like I couldn't. There's actually a funny Kevin Hart skit where he talks about his grandma, like he's in church. And she like fainted in the front row. And he's like, "Damn it, Grandma, wake up! You're not actually fainting." And that's what it reminded me of. But I mean, that editing, I literally think that was the funniest thing that the show.
I agree. That was like the best moment.
Killed
it's so funny.
Okay.
Everybody has like a different reaction. Like everyone's just kind of blown away that like Lukash was even saying that. Because did you ever get any idea that because he was all about Luis?
Oh, so this is a good little inside story. So when I was outside and I was eliminated, the first thing I did was like, I have to know who this guy is, because what you don't know is that bit where he gets eliminated and does all that stuff. That was way longer. There was so much he was trying to do. He's like, "I'm jumping into the pool. The producer said I could do it." And everyone's like, no, you're wearing a $2,000 mic. And he was just like, and there's a time, because he initially was the person, it's not shown, but he was the one that he told me he was a virgin. And so I actually like lean in. I'm like, "Dude, is that true?" He's like, "No, I've had sex with 37 girls this year." And we're just going crazy. And so
this guy's great.
The second I get out, I'm like, "Hey man, I want to know everything about you." I'm like trying to just see who this human being is. And like you just hear me say, I'm like, he is quite literally the most interesting person I've ever met. And there's a moment where we're talking and he's like, "Hey man, during the mansplain, I think I'm going to come out as bi." And I was like, "All right, hold on, pump the brakes." Like this kid's 21. He was homeschooled. So
oh no.
He's his classical pianist. So I was like, "Hey man, I need you to understand the magnitude of what you're saying. This isn't something that like you can half-ass for screen time." I was like, "Do you actually feel like this? It's nothing to joke about."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "No, like it might be 90 or 10%, but like, I'm really finding myself." And so I was like, "Okay, man, live your truth. When it comes time for the mansplain, do it." And he did it. And I couldn't love him more for it. I mean, the guy is
That's awesome.
Just fascinating.
Good on you, man. I mean, definitely like way to encourage and not say like, "Hey, don't like take the spotlight off of it." I think that's really cool.
Nice guy. Very nice guy.
Very nice guy, man. I mean, didn't lie. You did not lie. You checked the right box. And I think this is going well. The interview is going well, man. It's just locker room talk. Things are good, right?
Oh, I'm so embarrassed I said that. It was so stupid.
No, but you should be, man. You're being I've seen some of your interviews afterwards, and I think you are a nice guy. You're not just like playing the line, but I think you're being a little hard on yourself there, man. Like you were being honest. You don't remember what they said. And that's listen, you said it in the nicest way you could, like locker room talk, guy talk, whatever, just because they were looking for something to be upset about. I don't think you need to bear the weight that you bared on that, man.
Huge ricochet shot you took.
Huge ricochet shot. I mean, I'm sure you've heard me say it before. Like, first and foremost, I got to take responsibility for it. Where I really messed up, and I haven't actually even said yet, is that like when it happened in the moment, and again, I don't actually remember what he said. Like we're interviewed 100 times a day about everything, 50 times in groups of 2, in groups of 4, and then everyone. And so I truthfully don't remember, but obviously you see it on camera. I'm a part of that conversation, and when it happened, I should have been man enough to stand up and be like, "Hey, we're not doing this," or that's not appropriate. And so that's where I really messed up. But the magnitude of the situation was like I missed it. I didn't comprehend it. And it wasn't until after a producer kind of pulled me aside after that moment. They're like, "Hey, like he did say that," and I'm like,
"Oh man,"
you're like, "Oh come on, man."
That's so and so like you actually like. There's actually a moment where right after that, I actually go up to Austin, and you would think like besides Kylan, I'd probably be the most upset with him, but I pull him aside. I'm like, "Hey, dude, did he actually say that?" He's like, he did. Because there were some guys that were just making crap up to make crap up.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I heard that, it was very much so like, all right, now I have to do this formal apology for the girls and make sure I do it right. And you see that like they say I was like, if I was drunk. Wasn't drunk. I was literally just pooping my pants because I was like, wait, crap. Like I'm already past this after being on the chopping block in week 4. And to think that like, it's going to come ricochet for me for making a stupid comment like locker room talk and being guilty by association. I was shitting my pants.
I even think that like you went and did the apology and you're speaking up and standing up. And like I said, I do think you were kind of victim to a storyline a little bit. And listen, that happens, but you did make a triumphant return. So I do want to talk about it. I mean, you don't have to give all the trade secrets, but it was like, when did you get a vibe that this was going to be a possibility that they were going to let you shoot your shot? Did you have to clear it with them to shoot your shot, or did you just go for it? Because then Nikki's like, okay, well, then you have to eliminate somebody else then. I know there's editing, but it seemed like that was like right on the ball there.
Right. So I'm sure someone has told you guys this before, but the big thing, and that's actually probably the number one question we all get, is how much is it edited? And the thing that I don't know if everyone understands is that legally, because there's prize money at the end of the show, no producer can make you say or do anything. They can lead you to water and push you in the right direction. But ultimately in this situation, for the Mansplain, I'm eliminated. I'm sad boy summer. And it sucked. I truthfully, cared about
sad boy summer for real
a lot. And so like when guys get eliminated, and you actually don't see this once, but they actually shoot every time a guy walks into the grotto, and you get the lowdown and what happened that weekend. Tom bashed his fist this week, and they'd be like, hey, Niko, Tamaris mentioned you. And so I'm starting to hear it, and then maybe like a week after, Nikki's like, how you doing? Are you heard about Tamaris? And I'm like, do you actually care? Or like, you're just kind of everything's kind of like a joke with her. And she's being serious, and she's like, oh, well, I think she misses you too. So now I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, like crap, like should I do this? And so the Mansplain's coming up, and they're giving us a speech about, hey, like this is it. Like, if you have anything to say it. So I actually pulled the producer aside, and I was like, hey, would it be okay if I shot my shot? Because I really did have a real connection with her, and I just was kind of crushed, and my time was cut short. And so what they told me is, they're like, hey, you can say whatever you want, but you need to be prepared to understand that, like, for as epic as it might be, like, you're going to stand there and it could be equally as epic to just be like the dude that gets rejected.
Yeah.
So like, in no way,
true.
we're not like, they're like, it's her choice, and they kind of were like, yeah, she's been talking about you. And so I had that little inkling to be like, maybe I got a shot here, but ultimately it was 100% Tamaris' choice. And apparently my speech was good enough to bring me back, but not win it.
In any way, shape, or form, did you feel bad for Tom?
Here's the thing. So Tom,
he's like, nah.
I really did. But selfishly, I was like, I'm the guy. You hear me say that, I'm like, I'm the right choice. And so, and like Casey says it too, he's a little bit more abrupt with it, but like, in no world do I think of Tom and Tamaris are together. So I think Tom was 23 on the show. And so I think we all everyone in the house understood that. And so, when I knew I had that connection, it was like, some guys in my spot, he's sitting where I should be. And that was one of the things that kind of gave me the courage to fight for it. But I mean, we shook hands, and I got to say, like, Tom is an incredible dude. Like, he's probably cut out for like The Bachelor. Like, he truthfully wears his heart on his sleeve.
Oh, don't wish that evil on him, brother. I don't know if you watch The Bachelor or not, but we review every week, and I wouldn't send anybody on that boat right now.
He would be good on the show, Bill.
I just think he's
you would be good on The Bachelor.
Yeah, he actually would.
You would be great on The Bachelor. He reminds me of oh man, with Rachel right now. Is it Tino? Yeah, Tino. Remind me. Good guy, good head on your shoulders. I think America, and that's too, like, that crowd is moms, middle America. Oh, they love you, dude. They would eat it up. But also they have a flip side. It's very dark, and there are some very outdated takes and things that we come across our comments that you wouldn't want to associate with your mom at the PTO meeting. But right. Comments on it. But I did see another thing. I'm just going to bounce between the show and kind of real life, but I did see something which I kind of looking up your info, and I've seen it on Instagram and stuff. What is all this? You are getting buried for your eye.
Oh, okay. I just saw this today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he's getting buried.
Okay, so I think it's Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
And so it's so funny you said that. Not even an hour ago, I texted we have the FBoy Island group chat, all the guys, every single
we heard about that.
Yeah. And I screenshot the photo that's on the article and I go, serious question. Do you guys know about this? And did you see it? And everyone, 90% of the dudes were like, no, I missed it. I didn't see it. I was there. And then one of my buddies is like, dude, it's there. It's all I couldn't miss it. I couldn't stop looking at it. And then I went back and watched and I was like, wait, I remember. So what happened is I totally forgot about it. And so they sent the makeup. I know one used makeup. There was a makeup guy. Of course he gets sent home like after the Mansplain when I actually knew him. But I think it was just a stress. It's like, I don't even know what to call it, but it's like
a twitch.
But it itched like crazy.
Yeah, like a nervous twitch.
Red and they're calling it a sty, but I think it was just really stress induced. Like the night before, I pretty much pulled an all-nighter, knowing I'm like, I gotta like get it all out. And so it was the night before, like the Mansplain. And so I think I was just honestly so stressed, if that's even a thing, for how you get those. Or maybe it was a bug bite. I don't know, but I definitely woke up and I was like, great,
So you just had something on your eye and people are upset about it?
And you could only see it if I closed my eyelid. And
Brian, the article, literally the title of the article, he's being nice, is "What's Up with Nikos Eye" on F4. It's literally what the title of the article is.
So the more funny thing is up until I was 21, I had a bad lazy eye. Like my nickname in high school was Lazy E amongst all my friends. Like I'm talking left field, not a good look. And so I was like, wait, did my lazy eye come back? Like I was flustered. Like what happened here?
I saw that and was like, man, I got to dig into this again. You're just like absorbing ricochet shots.
I know, man. I'm fucking.
What a dumb thing to write about too. Like, just
it's like
doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like that's my only excerpt in that article.
You would think that's like what guys like us, small YouTube guys, real jobs. We're doing this for fun. Like that's what we would be doing. If that's what it takes to be Entertainment Weekly, I think I could host Entertainment Weekly.
You guys are up next.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so, okay. You also look, you were, you're being tough on the locker room thing, but you were also very transparent and kind of being clear with guys. One of my favorite lines was when you said you called her a dumb blonde, you're effed. Like,
so what, like my thing is when it happens, Mercedes is one of my best friends in the house. When it happened, I knew he smelled blood. Like it was like a shark in the water. Yep. And this is in front of the cameras and you don't see it, but I actually give him a chance to correct himself. And I was like, well, you're referring to girls like in LA that are dumb blondes. He's like, no, she's kind of, I'm like, all right.
He's like,
he was digging his own grave, man.
Like, no one can save you. I tried to give him a chance. And my thing was like, he's not the brightest dude. I'm sorry. Like we're friends, but that was just so inappropriate.
I said that.
And dumb to say. Like we're on a show. It's a women in power show. It's just incredibly disrespectful. And at that point, it was like,
he looked like he was drunk.
He might have been.
You have to be drunk to be able to get convinced to rat yourself out for something that they'll never find out about.
He was definitely drunk.
Yeah. I mean, I said to him too, I was like, dude, get in front of it. But I mean, the ship had sailed. He was so terrible.
It was sunk by then. It was sunk.
To be fair, too, on that the Luis front, and Mercedes said it. He was like, she's made her mind up already, and turned out that he was right. So in a respect, he's just like, I'm knocking these guys out of my way. I shot my shot, and I feel confident. And look, it worked out. I mean, during the season, wasn't a huge fan, but you're the second person that said that Kylan was the same way. He said wasn't like huge on him during the season, but like post the show has actually really enjoyed him. So we would definitely. I mean, he was someone we would definitely want to talk to. Honestly, he had because he was the only one that was unapologetically honest, like to the camera and stuff too throughout. He's like, I'm playing the game. And then at the end, he had that little face turn. He's like, you know what? Screw it. Everyone's going to hate me if I do this. I'll split it. Like that was great. Like he walked out of that show clean. Like for all the hate he was getting, trust me, on the weeks leading into the finale, people were like, I can't believe him. He's going to take all the money, and just shows you never know.
He's no Garrett.
No Garrett.
And honestly, that's why like one of the things that I love about FBoy Island is that it's different than all your classic like love story, love story, love story, find love. Like in a perfect world where you have this crazy villain that was Mercedes, you know, he was from the jump, I'm going to take the money, I'm this, I'm that. And I mean, he told you every single thing along the way.
Right.
And so what's more refreshing to think that like, wow, F-boy number one is reformed and actually cares about this girl enough to split the money. I actually talk about this during the finale. But dude, there's a moment where he picks her and she comes running up and her foot kicks up. And it's like this magical moment. And I like forgot even that like my decision coming up. And I was like, oh, like I'm like, this is great. Like this, it works. The show can have like true love can be done. And it was beautiful. Seriously.
This is a question I'm going to ask everybody who we talk to from FBoy Island, so I can just have a nice collage of positive things that maybe I can eventually lure this one in. I want to hear about Nikki Blazer. How was it to work with Nikki Blazer? How fun was she? How much interaction did you have? Any good Nikki Blazer stories?
She's the best. I mean, like, I'm sure you're going to hear the same thing from all the guys, but she is literally that cool. And she is that funny. Like, I think it's kind of hard to be on the spot because she just improvs all these jokes. Like the first scene, we all walk out, she roasts us. She's like, oh, this smells like a middle school locker room with Axe body spray.
Yep.
Did you guys all go to the same barber? And like she's just rambling them off. We're like, what is this the roast of, like, we're like flabbergasted. We're just getting owned right now. But she really is that cool. I'll never forget when we first walked in, the three girls are sitting there, three beautiful women, and like half the dudes were like, oh, dude, Nikki's so hot. I'm like, all right, you're an F-boy, you're an F-boy. Right. Like, you're not even faking it. Like, throwing out how hot Nikki is. And it's funny, but it'll never air a scene. But half the guys are like, Nikki, what's up? Call me after. It's like, or like, baby.
Oh, I knew that had to be a thing. Guys trying to shoot their shot with Nikki Blazer. Good try.
It's like, dude, just get out of here.
It's like none of you are charming enough for her.
Yeah, like
you have to be so smart to be able to date a comedian, and especially someone that good of a comedian. That's
Nikki would chew anyone on the show up and spit him out.
What about Benedict? He's a comedian.
So so honestly, they're good. They have good banter. She's cool. I think gonna be helping him out there. She's one of the few guys actually like texting, and so she understands what he's going through. He's up and coming, and he's doing phenomenal. But yeah, she's. I would hope that she'll be a mentor. She is that cool. I mean, I can't speak for Benedict, but
no, that's awesome.
I definitely see her doing.
That is really cool to hear. I mean, like I said, it's and we had Mark Wahlberg, who hosts Temptation Island, on, and it's really cool when you're talking to these type of people like that. They don't big time you, and it's really cool. And not saying somebody, if they couldn't come onto your show, it'd be big timing you, but even just acknowledging and stuff is really cool. She's liked a few of our posts on Instagram and stuff. So it's like, hey, that's cool.
There was a moment where like Tamaris was super nervous about our cha-cha-cha dance. And I was like, hey, look, listen, we're probably going to stink, but let's just have fun. Let's keep a smile on our face. And I gave her like this pep talk before we went on. And Nikki pulled me aside afterwards. She's like, hey, I was on Dancing with the Stars. And she's like, that really means a lot to people. That goes a long way. Like, pulled me aside personally. I was like, wow, this woman's really cool.
I get it. My mom owned a dance studio. That was, so I've seen that growing up. It's really cool. I don't want to kill the vibe, but I got to ask before we get out of here. We got to know. We need to bring it up. But so Tamaris.
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, we're sorry. Like, honestly, like they drug you back in just to go right into the slaughter. I mean, you got to go in the final date, have some fun. And like you said, strengthen that connection. I've seen some things where you thought you may have got some inklings because she's mentioned not wanting to settle down, this and that. Yeah. But I got to know now, like sitting back and look, this is a safe space here. Like, that had to suck a little bit. It sucked, right? Like, I would have been a little pissed off. Like, I know, like, besides the, like, right? Come on.
Yeah, no, it sucks. Like, there's no way to put it. If I'm being honest, if there was one thing I learned about this show, like, and I'm so thankful for the show. Like, I truthfully can say that I've learned to be vulnerable. I was a dude that used to be like too cool for school and didn't try not to show my emotions. And I really did learn that in F-Boy. So I'm incredibly thankful for that. And it's taught me to be a better man and a better person to my partners. So I'm thankful for that. And so in that same breath, I'm going to be honest, like that crushed me. That was hurt to the extent of like, look, there was red flags, and I saw it. Like, I'm not dumb. Half of them took part with me. I'm like, what gets you out of bed in the morning? Which is like a crazy integral like question to like who someone is, and she says money, and I'm like, Jesus.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like, there's another scene where she's like, "Oh, I cheated." Like, these are huge red flags, but never in my mind did I anticipate there be an ending like that. So I think I just kind of, and this is the sad part, is that I enabled it, and maybe I romanticized it a little bit more in my head to be like, oh, okay, maybe she misspoke, or, you know, like when I was in college, I wasn't the best guy in the world. Like, me and Tamaris are both 29. Like, she's talking about a past her, and that's not the girl now. So
we get that, man. We're both 32. We were same thing. Went to the same college together. We get it. Like, we get it. Yeah, it's like you're not always perfect, but it's what my thing I thought with the show, and I said it last week to Kyle in regards to like, even I was more so talking about Casey because that poor guy now is a 2-time loser.
Yeah.
But like, you talk about the producers not being able to influence the money thing, but like, I feel like you guys weren't playing with all the cards out on the table there. You know what I mean? And that to me kind of counteracts them saying they can't influence it. Well, they allowed you to go for it and go back fully knowing that she could chop you down, you know? And so we were on your side, man.
Yeah.
I think that's the part that hurts the most as someone that came on for the right reasons and to do it the right way. It was like, I'm just like, damn, like, I just kind of felt like, I don't think my time was wasted, because the truth, it really has made me a better man. But it just stung to be like, I don't know what else I could have done. Like, I did put it out there. I was vulnerable. I did the mansplain thing. So to just like fall short is just a tough pill to swallow. And it's just, you know, again, amazing experience. I just got duped. It sucks.
Yeah, you got backdoored hard.
Yeah, bad. We were mad.
Like,
we were mad.
Yeah, I mean, if you lost to Casey and like she picked someone, I mean, it sucks. But at least you lost fairly with everything you knew. You guys didn't know that, and I don't even like Casey that much. I felt bad for Casey because like you guys both, like, you got the short end of the stick. You didn't get all the cards, like Bill said. It sucks.
It sucks. The one thing that I will say, and again, I can totally condone with Tamaris's decision. You know, I have to respect that, even though it stings. But I think the other thing too that a lot of people might not know is, so the day before the finale, you're locked in your room by yourself. I can't see any of the other guys. The girls can't see any of the other girls. And then maybe halfway through the day, you have to ink and sign your answer, so you can't change last minute on stage.
Yeah.
And all 3 girls were offered their 100K. And I was with them in Miami this week and kind of reiterated it. And Mia had 2 F-boys, and she still had a good enough relationship. So I think the toughest pill to swallow is, and again, Casey missed the first 3 episodes. I missed 3 episodes. So maybe we just didn't have enough time, but for whatever reason, we just didn't do enough with what time we had to make her switch. Even though she was an F-girl, you could see that they can be reformed, or, you know, what her intentions.
Niko, you may have to respect the decision, but we don't. And we're not going to. And we're not going to. Even like, I'm going to tell you the truth, that we would love to talk to her one day, and we wouldn't hate on her, be mean or anything like that, but I'd be like, I don't agree with you. Like, I didn't agree with you. Like, how great he was. That's like, I swear that's what I would do. Has anyone seen her since?
Yeah, so we were all together.
Oh, so she was there too.
Yeah, all 3 girls, and then everyone from the finals.
Did she buy you a drink at least, or? She owes you a couple.
Did not. I didn't.
We're at the party.
We're good. We're cordial. We more joke about. There was actually a bachelor party there. This is kind of funny, and there was a girl in a pink wig, and I was like, "Hey, this is so random. Can I please take a picture with you?" And I sent it in our group chat. I was like, "Last chance, Tamara. I'm moving on. Girls only. Pink hair girls only."
Nice.
I love that, man. It's cool, and I love we Kyle and filled this in because Brian asked last week how he found us. He mentioned the group chat. It was out in the group chat. I just think it's so cool. I just think it's so cool. You guys have that chat and you're staying close. And even like you said, people that may have dumped other people or eliminated each other or had beef. I think you guys, in a crazy way, are a shining example for other reality TV contestants and people to how they can actually treat each other, because that is not the common treatment.
Yeah, I hope so, man, because I mean, we really do. We're pretty blessed. We got a good thing going.
So cool.
So cool. I mean, listen, man, I really respected how you went about and presented yourself, how you were with everyone else, and ultimately how it worked out and how you've handled yourself since, man. So we just want to say, obviously, big fans of you. Anytime you want to come on, if you want to talk reality TV, watch an episode, even if you're not a reality TV guy, watch something with us and we'll show you how you could do better and be a better contestant than these guys because we're all pro you. Would you ever do reality TV again?
I would, man. It's this thing. I'm like, now I get it too. If it's all nice girls and there's no plot twist at the end, I'm in. But I had so much fun, and again, I really learned so much about myself, and I think I thrive in that environment where I can be open, be fun, and be the best version of myself. So yeah, I would definitely. I don't know if I'm applying for anything, but if something was to come across my way, I'd be very interested in it.
That's awesome. Maybe Love Island for you.
Yeah, who knows, man? I don't know. I'm trying to get through FBoy Island right now.
You're an island connoisseur now, even though, and I brought this up to Kyle, and you guys weren't on an island.
No, I was on an island. I think season 1 was in the Cayman Islands, so that one checks out. But that was the first thing I said when I got off the plane. I was like, "Are we going to an island off of?" Like, no, it's on the land.
Wait, no, real quick. We didn't see a lot of the Nice Guy Grotto this season. Like, how was it?
It's honestly, it was almost as nice as, if not as nice as, the house that we stayed in. It's just ridiculous mansion with everything and anything. It was insane.
Because we got the scoop from Kyle, and like they got bust out, like from the
the jailbirds.
Yeah, like we saw like skits last season of people at Nice Guy Grotto. Like we barely saw you guys once you got eliminated, and like we always like to know what everyone else is doing. So it's good to know that you guys didn't get bust out either.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was late to the game. Like when I got out, the wheels had fallen off. I'm talking production came in, and I mean some of the stuff, like the stories. I mean, it was crazy how everyone's like and like they needed to do this with us. I mean, they took us on a catamaran one day. That was beautiful. Oh my God. But like guys got so like, we can't just be locked up here in this hotel. We got to do this. I'm like, dude, you signed a contract.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Well, that's what Kylan said, and we're going to work on. I think we'll see if you get your endorsement. He said that we should get all the jailhouse guys together for a reunion, and that would be a good one.
If you guys, and they would do it, I think they would do this. There's some stories, man. I don't know how much is kosher because
we're not a kosher channel anyway. We're not sponsored or anything. This is just us and our laptops.
But those are the dudes that would spill the beans. I mean, to this day, like those are some of the most legendary stuff that happened. I hate to say it, but
well, look, Ed, and it's a great mix, a great crew. We had a blast here, man. Again, thank you so much. Do not be a stranger. If you want anyone to find you, social, anything like that, anything going on you want people to know about?
I wouldn't say I got anything really going on, but my socials are just my name, Niko Pilalis. That's both Instagram and Twitter. And then I'm not a big talker, but Niko Pilalis 1 on TikTok.
Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely pop them up. We'll put them in our descriptions. We'll pop them up on the screen, obviously, when you mention them. And yeah, guys, make sure to check out FBoy Island. If you haven't, season 2 was awesome. You now know you have our endorsement. We're big Niko guys, and would love for more of you to see why we're big fans and see some of the circumstances they're talking about. But until next time, from myself, Brian, Niko, nice guy, nice try.
Nice try.